to the Owls Media Network. Teddy Steinberg, Carson Flick, now joined by head coach Rob Morgan. And coach, it was a gritty one. You fell 1-0, back and forth the whole game. It really was who's going to take it. It won't look like anybody's game. What were your overall thoughts from tonight?
Well, I was pleased with our start, especially the first 5-6 minutes, but I thought we got put on our heels a little bit towards the end of the first, and they ended up scoring that goal. But, we came out in the second period and had a great pushback, and I was able to keep us in the game, and we had a couple good quality scoring chances ourselves that we weren't able to capitalize on. And then the third period, I was really impressed with how hard we competed and pushed hard right to the very end and stuck with it. And, we had our chances. We just, it's hard to score in the league, and this game was a huge game. Both teams knew that if you win this game, you're tied for second place, and obviously top two teams in our conference get a bye in the first round of the playoffs.
So, one thing you mentioned about how gritty your team was, a couple of things I have a question about. Number one of those, when you guys had that 5-on-3, what was kind of the overall message that you had for the team, especially, ahead of that first face-off going into that 5-on-3? What were you kind of telling the team?
Well, that's a little bit on me. Like we haven't practiced, to be honest, our 5-on-3 a lot. But I mentioned, like, one, we had to put the second group out there for it because our top group was tired. They just finished coming off the ice. So I wanted to have Eddie on the right side with a one-timer set up a box and one, and they never got it set up, which didn't allow us to run a play. And so it was basically to, play pass on the opposite side, from the high post, low post, and then eventually move it over to Eddie for a quick one-timer. I tell you what, if she rips that puck, it's going to the back of the net. But we weren't able to get set up for that. So that's on me. Like, I have to do a better job getting our power play going. And, everything else has been pretty good for our young team. And, I was really impressed with how hard they battled and competed against a very strong team. Like,
for sure. So in that final moment, what was kind of the original plan there? You kind of broke down that 5-on-3, break down that original plan for that final face-off.
Well, one thing they do know is that when we're in an extra attacker situation, essentially it's like I call it PP plus one. So that extra player knows where they're going. They're usually going down to the back post. And so if we're running a 1-3-1, now you have an extra player down off the back post, and then it just, in that moment, it's like you gotta make a pass, two-pass attack, but you have to get pucks to the paint. The panic level goes up in the other team if you can get the puck there, and then score a dirty goal. Like that's how we're gonna have to get our goals right now, because there certainly hasn't been any pretty ones.
Yeah. And so now you take this loss, you move into not a short break, but a couple weeks break to the beginning of January. You'll have some practices at the end of December, but how is the message in the locker room right now going into this break?
Well, we still have one more game to play on the road, so we're gonna leave tomorrow around I think it's 11 o'clock. We leave. We head up and we get to play Bowdoin on Sunday. And so, as you know, Bowdoin, I think, just cracked the top 10 nationally, so it's going to be another great game for us. But my message to them in the locker room after the game was, we keep getting better, and they're experiencing it, And the way we're going to have success is by really sticking with the game plan, and being strong defensively, and being able to grind out these, 2-1, 1-0, 3-2. type hockey games. But we got to do a better job with our special teams, because at the end of the day, we got a goalie that gives us a chance. And so as long as I is healthy and everyone else is working hard at getting better each day, then good things are ahead for our young program.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Coach, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah.
I worked in HVAC when I was in high school, and I really liked being on a job site. When Keene State came to my high school, the admissions counselor told me I could have a job on a job site and also make a difference on people's lives. He said being a safety engineer meant I could work with my hands, but also make sure that everybody was going to be home safely at the end of the day. The safety field is growing rapidly because companies are noticing that keeping their workers healthy means that they can keep their workers working. My plan is to graduate from Keene State so I can get back onto a job site as a safety engineer. It's great because there's jobs to choose from all over the United States, so I can basically go anywhere I want. Keene State is giving me the tools to make that happen.
I used to never really talk, ever. I was afraid if I said something wrong, everyone would laugh at me. But then I started to play golf with Special Olympics. It helped me to find my voice. And now everyone else is speechless.
This is Paul Sullivan of Sullivan Tire Company. We're thrilled to be sponsoring the Keene State College Athletic Program, supporting the Owls. No matter what the sport is, in Division III, they are legendary. What a great academic institution, liberal arts school, in a beautiful part of New England. So let's go, you Owls, and remember, at Sullivan Tire, we're always here to get you there. Thank you.
The Owls failed to get it done. Southern Maine shuts them out 1-0. Jillian Jackson had the lone goal for the Huskies as they take a big LEC game here in southwestern New Hampshire. I'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight, but first, we'll take a look at Around the Nest. Men's ice hockey, earlier, you heard me and Carson on the call for that, took down King's College, a closer one than most expected, 3-2 the final score. The Owls moved to 5-4-0 on the season. Sean Hoffman, Peyton Jones, and Marcus Christofides were the goal scorers. Swimming and diving at Regis is in progress now. And tomorrow, big day for Owls sports, swimming and diving still at Regis, that one at 11 a.m. Indoor track and field at Suffolk starts at 9. And the indoor track and field at Early Bird Relays starts at 10. Women's basketball hosts UMass Boston at 1 o'clock on the Owls Media Network. And men's basketball hosts UMass Boston following that game on the Owls Media Network at 3. So we had the hockey doubleheader tonight and a basketball doubleheader tomorrow. So now we'd like to thank our sponsors, the Luxury Box Photo Booth, WW Building Supply, New Hampshire Army National Guard, Quality Care, Northeast Delta Dental, Sullivan Tire, Sid's Carpet and Snooze Room, the Melanson Company, Fieldstone Land Consulting, C&W, Chartwell's, Fenton Family Dealership, Brickhouse Pizza and Wings, New Car Nissan of Keene, and Engelberth Construction. For Carson Flake, Ryan Hearn, our wonderful team here on the Owls Media Network, my name is Teddy Steinberg. Have a great rest of your night. Nice move there by Shagnon, working behind the net. She'll feed it up top to Capone. She shoots, it's deflected, they score! We'll see who got the last touch out in front. It was Jillian Jackson putting the Huskies on the board first.
You have been watching a Keene State Athletics broadcast on the Owls Media Network. Please tune in to our next broadcast and thank you for watching.